Okay, welcome back. We are going to go ahead and go over the next several problems on this video. For number 7, we want to make sure that we combine our like terms first on the left side. So a 10x minus 3x is of 7x plus 5 equals 26. We want to subtract 5 from both sides. Draw your line. The 5's cancel out. You're left with 7x equals 21. Then you want to divide both sides by 7, and x equals 3, which is letter C. All right, the next one, number 8. If 4 times n minus 3 equals a negative 2n plus 12, what's the value of n? All right, so again, we're going to plug in for our variables. No, we're not plugging in, we're distributing. So the 4 times the n is 4n. 4, let me just rewrite the problem first, sorry. That way I can show you what I'm doing. So 4n minus 3 equals a negative 2n plus 12. That's better. Okay, now 4n, 4 times n is 4n. 4 times a negative 3 equals a negative 12 equals negative 2n plus 12. Okay, now you want to get your variable on both sides, so I'm going to add my 2n to both sides. Draw your line. 4n plus 2n gives you the 6n minus 12 equals 12. I'm running out of room. All right, then I want to add 12 to both sides. Draw your line. So you got 6n equals 24. Divide both sides by 6, and n equals 4. Letter B. Okay, number 9, which value of k makes this equation true? A lot of you have trouble with these types of problems. Just think of it when you see that fraction bar, it's division. So you want to multiply by the reciprocal. In this case, you want to get rid of the denominator. So if it makes sense to you, you could just put parentheses around it, and you're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 6 over 1. So the reason why we're doing that is because we want to get rid of that denominator. So you're multiplying by 6 on both sides. That way, when you do that, these 6 cancel out. Okay, so what are you left with? 18k equals negative 5k plus 4. Same thing, we are going to get the variables on one side, so I'm going to add 5k to both sides. Draw your lines. Get 23k equals 4. Now, you're going to divide both sides by 23. These cancel out. So k equals 4 over 23. And that is letter B. All right, number 10. What values of x make this equation true? So the first thing I'm going to do is combine my like terms. So I have a 4x here and a negative 3x here. So 14 plus 2x equals, that's 1x minus 11. I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 1x from both sides. That leaves me with 1x and a 14. And that equals a negative 11. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 14 from both sides. Okay, the 14s cancel out, and x equals a negative 25. All right, number 11. What is the solution to the following inequality? All right. So in this case, we're going to solve just like an equation, except for you're dealing with an inequality. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Draw your lines. On the right side, I'm left with a negative 8x. On the left side, I get a negative 24. All right, now watch what happens. I'm going to divide by a negative 8. When I divide by a negative, I have to flip the inequality. Okay, so you're going to get this answer here. Now, before you can graph it, you always want to have your variable on the left. So when you flip it back, you're going to flip it again. Therefore, x is less than 3. Okay, so just be careful on those. Number 12. Solve and graph the solution to the following inequality. All right, number 12. I am going to add 2.4x to both sides. Draw your lines. This cancels out. I'm left with 13.2. Well, let me back up. I didn't do that right. What you do to one side, you do to the other. X. I should have moved that over because it's 2.4x minus 1.2 is greater than or equal to 13.2. Now I'm going to add 1.2 to both sides. This cancels out. So now I have 2.4x is greater than or equal to 14.4. Now what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 2.4. And you can use a calculator. And x is greater than or equal to 6. So that would be letter A. All right, number 13. Which of the following graphs represents the solution to the inequality? So I'm going to rewrite it over here. So 3x plus 12 is greater than or equal to 15. The first thing I want to do is subtract 12 from both sides. Draw your lines. 3x is greater than or equal to 3. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And I'm not flipping the inequality, which equals 1. And the correct answer is C. Okay, so click on the next video for the rest of the study guide.